Hi friends, this is Dmitro, your English tutor. Let's please in this video discuss several possible methods and ways to start your essay, a Duolingo English test. I think it refers not only to Duolingo but to any other test, including IELTS, TOEFL, but just for example, I have opened Duolingo because there are many questions here and the interface is quite handy. Let's please read this question. It is Duolingo writing interview. As you know, in Duolingo we have, let's call them two mini essays. The first one, let's call it read then write. So you read the task and write. And the second one is like this, write an interview. But, I'm deeply convinced that there is no basic difference, any substantial difference between them. Anyway, you have 5 minutes and you express yourselves in writing. And that's all. Yeah, really, there is no difference. I don't even understand why they have created two separate tasks for this. Probably to analyze your writing better, I think. Just because if you have one essay, probably the system feels harder to, find it harder to assess you. But if you write two pieces, then probably your writing style is revealed much, much more abundantly. So, but anyway, there is no difference, I tell you. So some guys, they don't know how to start, yeah? And okay, let's view 2 or 3 or 4 of those tasks, and I would say how I would start, and you will judge for yourself. Is it important for people to have hobbies, or is it just enough to have a job? Explain your reasoning. You see, we have here or, so you should express whether you favor the first option or the second option, yes? It's your opinion, you see? They are asking about your opinion. So in this case, we have a lot of ways to start. So let's enlist some of them, like in my opinion, yes, in my opinion. And then we give our opinion, yes. Then a very nice one, and from my perspective. And then off we go, from my perspective. A classic, beaten classic. I think, so I believe, and so on. Yes. I am for example, I'm truly convinced that, and off we go. You see, so we have already 5 good ways to start. Of course, there are tens of others. You can play with words and just it has been my whole life solid conviction or like belief or something like that. But please don't overdo it, because it will sound unnatural. It would seem like a golden saddle on a cow, something like that, you see. So don't please overdo it, because it will, I think, lower your score. The system will definitely see that you have crammed, like with your tutor, those beautiful phrases, but after that beautiful phrase, after some comma, then follows the body of the essay, and in the body there are primitive phrases, of a beginner of English. So you understand that this contrast will lower your score. Also remember, please, that you are not obliged to start with such introductory phrase. You can proceed, you can take the bull by the horns. For example, is it important for people to have hobbies or just enough? For example, I favor the variant of having hobbies, yes? So I can start without all this, I can sort of, for a person to, let's say, to relish his or her private, unique hobby. Okay, it's difficult to substitute hobby, so let it be. Is an inalienable. Okay, whether I spelling it correct, inalienable. Yeah, is an inalienable, for example, constituent of one's well-being. You see? Yeah, and I have showed you. So here I don't have to say just I believe. Yes, you can or you cannot. It depends upon your mood, upon your intuition, upon your something like that. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Do you think it would be more fair or less fair for a computer to grade your school essays? Provide reasons to support your opinion. Again, here is a choice, your opinion, so all those phrases from the previous case apply. Or without any phrase, yes, yes. Please, and I don't even have enough words to describe. A paramount thing is that you provide your opinion in the first or in the second sentence of your introduction. You see, a lot of guys, they make this mistake. They like to philosophize, and for example, here they philosophize about something, they speculate about some essences of our beings and so on, then they provide some kind of reasons, but essentially they forget to say like whether they think this or that. You see, it's a big mistake. It will lower your score by a large margin because the system doesn't understand. You are difficult to understand for a reader, and it's very, very negative. So please, I recommend that you express your point of view in the first sentence, you see, and then you express yourself in writing and your philosophies. Yeah, it's very cool and very tough, but please give your reader an opportunity to understand what you think, like you think this or that, and that's all. It's very important because a lot of guys have lost a lot of points on this thing because at schools they were not taught like to begin sharply. Yeah, Duolingo, you have only 5 minutes. You don't have 2 hours to express yourself. What is a book that you believe every young person should be required to read? Explain the reasons for your choice. All those phrases apply from our previous, yes, because it's your opinion, your argumentation. You just pick up some book, and maybe even an imaginary book, and in my opinion, the greatest book of all times for young people is la 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 la. Yes, nothing special, yes. And then the reasons, the second paragraph, the first reason, the third paragraph, the second reason, and all that jazz. Name a person who you think makes the world a better place. What can you learn from their example? How would the world be different if more people were like him or her? It's a type of question where you have several additional sub-questions. By the way, mind you, here we don't have provide reasons, you see? Instead of provide reasons, you have sub-questions. Please be careful about it. So firstly, answer please sub-questions, and then maybe, if you have some time and energy and desire, you are welcome to provide some reasons for something, but I don't think that you will do it because you have only 5 minutes. If you answer all these questions thoroughly and devote a paragraph to each question, you simply will not have time to any additional reasons. A person who the world a better place. It can be some famous person, it can be some political figure, some philanthropist, or it can be your neighbor John. Yes, the system doesn't care. The AI of Duolingo doesn't care. If you think that John serves humanity, he's a Buddhist who works for free, I don't know, who cleans the streets and who buys and brings bread to all the people and so on. So John is the greatest person of history, yes, and you have the right to write about him or her or about some Mary. And how you see the second paragraph, what can you learn from his example? Yeah, for example, the second paragraph, I think that his example encourages me to lead a more, let's say, spiritual life and la 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 la. How would the world be different if more people were like him? The third paragraph, I'm sure that if there were more such guys as John, our world would be an entirely different and of course a better place, and la 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 la. Do you think that the arts should be included in every child's education? Provide reasons to support your opinion. You see, they are, do you think that, and no or. It's a direct question. Please answer it in your first sentence, maximum in the second sentence. No way, the third sentence or somewhere in the middle of my essay, you will kill your score. I tell you, you should be understandable. And so please don't beat around the bush. Express your opinion directly. Your opinion doesn't matter a diddly squat, as they say. You see, whether you think that really they should be included or they should be banned, it's your business. So how do we start here? Again, do you think that? I am sure that. I think that. In my opinion, la 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 la, the same, nothing special. Do you think that standardized tests are fair, or do you think some test takers have an unfair advantage? Explain your reasoning. For example, for me to write it like more, let's say, easily, yeah, I will favor something positive. So I think that standardized tests are fair, and that's all. Yes, so I don't want to speculate about something negative. So I am truly convinced that all tests are fair and standardized tests are not an exception. So they provide a unique opportunity for people to be graded by artificial intelligence, something like that, or by computer. And the computer here, it doesn't care about whether you know the president of the university or not. So there is no such thing as corruption, bias, and la 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 la. So you see, all these interviews, we can start pretty much the same, yeah? Or, finally, we have reached a question where probably you don't need, in my opinion, or something. Describe the last thing you learned that made you wiser. No, no, I'm not. Maybe you can start, in my opinion. But who taught you this, and how did you thank them for it? How will you use this knowledge to help you in the future? So in this case, you can start like, I still remember how, like 2 years ago, during my encounter with my, I don't know, friend or something, he or she rendered to me a unique wisdom of life, and la 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 la. You see, in this case, you may not start like, in my opinion, I truly believe, because you're speaking about yourself, and you're speaking about some instance, some case. If you're speaking about some case or thing, on the other hand, you can say that I think that the most important thing that I learned from la 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 is, yes, you can start again, in my opinion, from my perspective, or not like this, just I still remember how la 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 la. Or a very prominent thing in my memory, which springs to it the very second I begin to think about my... But you see, it's too complicated, I think, for Duolingo. You can use, in my opinion, or you can start like, I can still remember how, or la 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 la. Okay, my friends, so as you see, there are different ways to start, and remember, please, that it's just purely my opinion. I didn't read it anywhere or something. Your introduction, I mean your introductory phrases, do not mean so much as the body of your essay. You understand that the system will grade you based on your middle, not upon your crammed phrase, like learned by heart, from my perspective. Every parrot or turtle or monkey can learn from my perspective. You understand, yeah? But what follows this after the comma, what you have, it means very, very important thing. That's why cram a couple of them, like learn by heart, but don't please overthink them because they're just introductory phrases, nothing special. Okay, I wish you success at Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL. If you need my professional assistance, you're welcome to write me at those contacts that I enlisted in the description to this video. Okay, so feel good and see you in our next lesson.